Michigan's Alex Kile, kind enough to join us from our campus studio in Ann Arbor. Alex, things really clicked for you a year ago. You had 34 points. You were +8 in 38 games. Was it just a case of you developing over the past couple of years, getting more and more used to this offense, what was expected of you, or did something specifically click for you skill-wise?
I think the biggest thing for me was my sophomore year. I had a pretty good year. I kind of slumped at the end, but overall that sophomore year gave me a lot of confidence heading into my junior season. And it also helps. I played with JT Compher and Tyler Mott the first half of the year, and then Justin Selman and Boone Nieves, and all four of those guys have signed NHL contracts. So playing with those four definitely helped me, and I'm looking to have a bigger role this year, and hopefully finish off where I started in my junior year.
Well, you led right into my next question, because in addition to those four guys that signed pro deals, you also lose talent like Kyle Connor and Berenson, and there's so many guys over the last couple of years that have left either because their eligibility was gone or because they had the opportunity to turn pro. How much different do you think this Michigan team will look?
It's going to be really different, to be honest. There's no question that we lost arguably the best line in college hockey in the past 5 years or so, and it's going to be really tough to replace guys like that, and especially Zach Werenski, Mike Downing, and then along with Selman and Boo. So there's no doubt that we have 11 freshmen coming in, and they're going to have to step up and be impact players, because there's a lot of room for opportunity. You look at any of the freshmen could step up. You look at Tony Calderon, Dexter Danks. I mean, these guys are going to have to step up because we are going to need them, because we lost a lot of goals this year.
So there's some questions there just to fill all those spots, but there has been no more stable position in college hockey, maybe in any sport, than the head coaching position at Michigan. Red Berenson back once again. What's it been like to play for a guy who, when he eventually retires, which will probably be some 20 years from now, will be considered one of the greatest to ever coach the sport?
It's crazy. I'm still learning more and more about him every single year, and his resume kind of goes forever, and I still don't know everything about him, but he's a coach that I committed to, and he's one of the main reasons I came to Michigan. He's so knowledgeable of the game. He's been coaching for over 35 plus years. He's played in the NHL. He's won the Stanley Cup. So you got to listen to what he says. He knows what he's talking about. He knows how to handle players. He's been coaching college for 30 plus years. So kind of everything he says you got to listen to, and put it in your back pocket, because he's been there before. He knows what it takes to win games. He knows how to score goals. So you kind of just got to listen to him, everything, and just take it all in.
After 22 straight years of making the NCAA tournament, I know there was a mini drought, and you got to suffer through your first 2 years, unfortunately, without being able to play in the tournament. But you get back there last year, and you win a game, beating Notre Dame in overtime. What did it feel like to be back playing as part of the NCAA tournament, your first one, and specifically that overtime win?
It felt great. That was probably one of the most fun games I've ever been a part of, just winning in overtime like that, and just seeing all the support from alumni, fans throughout the country. It's just it's kind of crazy to think about how many people care about us, and it feels good to be back. And they were there for 22 straight years, so I can't even imagine the amount of the support they had throughout that time. So hopefully we can get back this year, and I don't see why we can't. We have a good group of guys. We're really deep this year, and I think gaining that experience from last year will only help coming in my senior season.
And does getting that close to the Frozen, just being one win away, does it make it almost more desirable when you guys sense how close you were a year ago?
For sure. You look at that game against North Dakota. We were tied 2-2, I think, with 8 minutes left, and they kind of pulled away at the end. So I think that overall experience and kind of knowing what it takes to get there and how hard it is to win those close games, it's definitely going to help going into our last year as seniors. And I'm going to try to use that as a positive and kind of learn from it and put that chip on my shoulder heading into this year.
So you guys beat Notre Dame in the NCAA's last season, and then just a few months after that, it's announced that Notre Dame's actually going to join the league for 2017-18. Now, you won't be able to play against Notre Dame, obviously, as a member of Michigan, but your thoughts on them joining the league? And now that I think about it, that might have been announced right before you guys actually beat them.
Yeah, so anytime you can add teams to a conference, it only attracts more broader audience. Notre Dame's kind of a storied program, a lot of great players that have played there, a lot of alumni in the NHL. And, I mean, you saw it in that tournament game. They were really good, got a lot of good players, a lot of draft picks. So I think adding them to the Big Ten will only make it more competitive. And, I mean, even looking back at the football rivalry between the two schools, it'll just, add more excitement to these games. And hopefully, the fans can get up for it and hopefully, get ready for a big season next year when they come to the Big Ten.
We'd love to get your take on the student-athlete experience at Michigan, how you balance your responsibilities to the hockey team with your responsibilities as a sports management major, and whether there's crossover in whether you find success in one helping you be successful in the other.
I mean, so when it comes to school, for me, I've always been a pretty good student, and I feel like no matter what you do, if you have pride in something that you do, you'll be successful no matter what. So, hockey is something I obviously have a lot of pride in, and I like to do well in, but school is just right there with it. I have a lot of pride, and it kind of feels good to, do well in school along with hockey, and I think that's just kind of my competitive nature. I like to compete in the classroom along with my teammates. I have 4 other my classmates in basically all my classes, so it's kind of fun to compete with them a little bit and, see who gets a better grade on tests and projects.
How much emphasis is there from the coaching staff, whether it's Red or Brian or any of the other assistants who are talking to you guys about making sure that while the responsibility is there to the hockey team, that you stay on top of the academics, because obviously the hockey is not going to be around if you're not keeping the grades up to where Michigan needs them to be?
Red always stresses you to do well in school, and he doesn't want you to just pass. He wants you to actually do well and get A's, get B's, and he always stresses that, and he's been there before he graduated from the business school. It's a very prestigious school here at Michigan, so, school is really important, and, like you said, not everyone's going to play in the NHL, and if you do, you still have to, have a backup plan, and so that's something that he stresses a lot, and, it's real life, so you got to be ready and take school pretty seriously.
True, not everyone plays in the NHL, but over the last couple of years, a lot of guys from Michigan are certainly getting the opportunity.
Yeah.
Michigan senior forward Alex Kile. Alex, truly appreciate the time. We wish you the best of luck this season.
Thank you. Appreciate it.